The Alabama Farmers Federation is proud to present the Outstanding Young Farm Families of 2009. They represent the future of agriculture in Alabama. Winners were selected in 13 commodity divisions, and from that group, 6 were chosen as finalists for the overall title of Outstanding Young Farm Family. Here's a quick look at all the division winners. 32-year-old Clay Kennemer says there was once a time when there couldn't be a horse show between Asheville, North Carolina and Baton Rouge, Louisiana without him in attendance. But over the years, he sort of got burned out on horses and training. These days, Clay concentrates on his stocker cattle operation, where he handles about 2,000 calves in a year's time. Now, he's not completely separated from horses. There are still 4 of them on the farm, and Clay's wife Dana owns a horse supply business. For Galen Shelley, saving money is the same as making money. He's added storage facilities to his 2,400-acre farm so he can control when he sells grain. And he went into the trucking business to save money on hauling, and so he wouldn't have to wait on trucks when he's ready to move it. Galen and his wife Angie have 5 children: 9-year-old Valen, 7-year-old Drew, Alana, who's 5, Kaylee, who's 20 months old, and 6-month-old Bria. Benjamin Brown has been in the dairy business for 20 years. His career started when he was just 3 years old, going to work with his pawpaw in the dairy. Now, he still farms alongside his grandfather Joe and his uncle Joel at the last remaining dairy farm in Etowah County. Benjamin says he just couldn't do anything else for a living, in spite of tough times in the industry. He says they're dealing with those issues by reducing their herd from 100 cows down to 70 in an attempt to control feed costs. Robert and Jennifer Cruz have horses and cattle on 500 acres in Morgan County, but it's not as much a farm to them as it is a ministry. Although they both make their living off the farm, he from preconditioning cattle and her from training horses and giving riding lessons, they've opened their operation to young people from all over North Alabama as a way to share their faith. The Cruzes have 3 daughters: Emma, Caitlin, and Elena. The Smith Farm in Randolph County consists of chickens, cattle, timber, and hay, all on 650 acres. Josh and Denise Smith have 72 acres in pine trees and 2 layer hen houses that Denise operates. Josh's brother Scott also owns 2 layer houses, and his dad Jimmy has 4. Together, they own 175 head of cattle and put up about 500 rolls and 1,500 square bales of hay each year. Josh and Denise have 2 children, JC and Seth. Without question, 2009 has been a tough year for Rob McHugh and his Gulf Creek farm. Spring storms ripped the plastic off his greenhouses, and the plastic he bought to repair them was stolen before he could get it put up. Although that put him out of business this year, Rob has made a little money selling herbs that he discovered growing near a creek on his property. And he hopes to have 3 of his greenhouses back into production this winter. Rob and his wife Angie have 2 sons, Ridge and Cove. Brad Lee spent 6 years as a row cropper, but decided about 5 years ago there was more money in it for him doing custom work. He's picking 500 acres of cotton and baling 600 acres of peanut hay, in addition to all the grass hay he produces. Brad also has 40 brood cows and raises produce such as corn, peas, and squash that he sells to individuals and farmer-owned markets. Brad and his wife Christy have 3 children, Dylan, Rachel, and James. Most farmers would find another line of work if faced with input costs of $7,000 per acre and a $40,000 weekly payroll. But Brian Cash makes it all work on his 70-acre farm in St. Clair County. He grows round, Roma, and grape tomatoes and ships them to grocery stores and repackers all over the country. His wife Paige does all the bookwork for the farm, in addition to her full-time job teaching school. Brian and Paige have 1 son, Corbin. Most young farmers join a family farming tradition, but Daniel Hall is reviving one. His father and grandfather both farmed, but got out of agriculture before Daniel was old enough to join them. So he's putting 114 acres of family land back into production. Daniel spent 2 years just building fences before he was able to put 20 beef cows on the land, along with chickens and meat and dairy goats. To carry the tradition a step farther, he's even living in the house his great-grandfather built. Thomas Adams is one of those people that thinks outside the box. Traditionally a row cropper, he decided to enlarge his family garden several years ago and start growing peas on a commercial scale. Well, it's been so successful, he's now up to more than 130 acres of vegetables. But that doesn't take time or acres away from his other crops. He's still producing 700 acres of peanuts and 650 acres of cotton. Thomas and his wife Farah have 2 children, Elizabeth and Emery. Jeff Whitaker grew up on his family's potato farm in DeKalb County, but he makes his living nowadays in 4 chicken houses. His dad switched from potatoes to chickens when Jeff was just 14 because the market got so bad that year it wasn't worth digging them. Jeff got his first flock of birds in October of 2000 and supplements that income by baling hay off 400 acres on Sand Mountain. He and his wife Randy have 2 sons, Aiden and Keegan. Like most farmers in the South, Ben Looney was relieved to see water falling out of the sky this year, even though the rain became excessive at times and drowned 100 acres of cotton. Still, after 3 years of drought, Ben says he's learned to never curse the rain. Even without the cotton, Ben produced soybeans, wheat, corn, and sunflowers on his farm near Athens. A 4th-generation farmer, Ben and his wife Miranda expect their sons, Colby and Clay, will follow in the family tradition. Matthew Smith grew up growing grains on his family's Calhoun County farm, but when he started farming full-time in 1995, Matthew wanted to add cotton to the mix. Well, it took a half-dozen years to do it, but he finally convinced his dad to give it a try. Matthew says diversifying has helped their farm tremendously. Today, the Smiths produce cotton, corn, soybeans, and wheat, and have 150 brood cows with plans to expand the herd. Matthew and his wife Stacy have 2 sons, Colby and Michael. Those are our 13 division winners. Now let's find out more about our 6 finalists. Tonight, one of them will be named Alabama's Outstanding Young Farm Family for 2009.